Okay, so I guess to start it out, I'm going to just show you guys how to do some very basic things in an Excel spreadsheet. Well, this is actually a Google Sheet, but it's the same. I want to start with Google Sheets because Google Sheets is free, unlike Excel where you have to pay for it. So let's just think of a quick example. So let's say we want to do some simple math. So we'll just say input 1, input 2, input 3. Okay, so first and foremost, one thing to note whenever you have numbers lined up like this, you can drag your menu. When you have 3 variables, you can drag your menu and it will just continue on with that current flow. That way you don't have to keep typing it over and over again. But we'll just start with a basic 2 input. So I say input, it's the same as like X in algebra. So let's just merge this. We'll just say this is X equals input 1 plus input 2. Okay, so just to get this quick example made, what we would do is click equals, and then we would have it point at this cell, which is B2, and then we would just do add plus B3. Okay, so that's 0 because there's no values there right now. Well, we're going to go ahead and make input 1 there and input 2 there. Keep it simple, 1 and 2. So what that is doing is X now equals input 1 plus input 2, yielding 3. So let's use that same logic for another expanded thought. So let's go X equals input 1 divided by input 2. Okay, so to keep that same idea, we just click here. You once again getting B2 divided by B3. So I'll get you the division factor. And then let's just make another simple one here. X equals input 1 divided by times. For times you use this asterisk instead of an X. But times input 2. Okay. So then we just come here and we multiply this times this. Okay, so the reason that we would want to do this, and this is a simple example, but the reason we'd want to make it where it's derived from inputs rather than, this is simple math, so we don't have to think about it. But the reason we'd want to do this is if we have lots of formulas that are giving us different data points from each one of those things, this will enable us to quickly do multiple different versions of math quickly. So let's say input 1 instead was 500. and input 2 was 2,121. Okay, so essentially what that's allowing us to do is just quickly manipulate data sets faster than our brains are going to be able to process. This is very simple, basic run through on just looking at two different input variables, just doing a simple addition, division, and then multiplication. So essentially this will be the first step of getting a basic understanding. Once you have this understanding, you can move on to a more complicated video that I will be hosting soon. But I wanted to just break it down to just this quick, simple 3-factor example. Well, I guess to be consistent, I should also add 1 for subtraction, input 1, subtract input 2. And this was actually quite useful to know. So this will go negative by default, which is quite useful. But just to give you a quick overview, that's how you do your 4 basic inputs on 2 variables. If you have any further questions, please comment them below.